Welcome to Conversations with Craig, presented by Matinee Heroes.
Hey everyone, welcome to Conversations with Craig. This is the podcast where we dive into entertainment, pop culture, and the incredible people behind the stories we love. I'm your host, Craig Price, and I'm glad you're here. Before we get started, a quick shout out to Matinee Heroes, of course, the podcast that celebrates heroic cinema, classic films, and the impact they have on us. If you love movies and great conversations, check out Matinee Heroes wherever you get your podcast. Episode 500 is coming out this fall, and we certainly hope you listen and celebrate. This month, I wanted to showcase someone you may not have heard of, but he's making his way in the crazy world of Hollywood in a very unusual way. April is the end of the big NCAA tournament, and my interview today is with the former professional basketball player turned creature performer turned working on-screen actor, Dane DiLiegro. We had a chance to sit down at the 2024 Origins Game Fair in Columbus, Ohio, and Dane was just coming off of doing the surprisingly good Prey, and he was getting ready to start the Netflix sports comedy Running Point, which Season 2 premieres April 23rd. The conversation is extensive. We start from when he was a little kid, well into what he is doing now. It's fun to see him grow as an actor. We recently saw him in Murders in the Building, instantly saw him and like, that's my buddy Dane. And so I'm very happy that he is doing well and moving forward in a very crazy industry. We got a lot to cover, so get ready to talk about deboning cows, defense, and destiny as Dane DiLiegro has a conversation with Craig. From Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, as well as the upcoming show for Star Wars Skeleton Crew. He's also the Predator in Prey. He is my fellow UNH Wildcat. Please welcome Dane DiLiegro.
Wow.
Hot crowd coming through. All right.
Hello.
Welcome, Dane. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Ohio. We're here.
Buckeye State. How many games did you play against Ohio?
0.
Not Ohio State, but any Ohio school? UNH didn't go play any Ohio schools?
No.
They were scared to come here?
I don't think so. Yeah, New Hampshire, they're not leaving New Hampshire very often. We're keeping it within New England, and that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, I know you're a baller, but are you a gamer?
I'm a different form of gamer.
Well, then we're here today, but
yes.
So you're a video gamer, I'm assuming.
I do video games. I've played Werewolf before a couple times.
Yesterday?
Yes. I played Settlers of Catan a couple weeks ago for the first time.
All right.
It was fun, but it drove some wedges between me and my friends there. It's very competitive.
Well, I would assume that almost everything in your life has gotten to be a little competitive. It's just your nature as a professional athlete.
Exactly.
Any video gamers out here? So we got some.
All right.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey,
so what do you play? You Fortnite? Or
Destiny. I was on Fortnite before it became popular. Destiny, Call of Duty. I've been really getting into platformers. There's a game called Inside I really enjoy. Strategy games, Legend of Zelda. I bought a Switch. Literally.
There you go.
Yeah. I literally bought that just to play Zelda. Ocarina of Time is one of the greatest games ever. So there you go.
So let's start about where you grew up, and then we'll get into the movies, because
Sure.
I've got a lot of questions about Prey.
Okay.
Because I'm a big fan of that whole movie. Everything about that was fantastic.
Thank you.
So we'll start off. You were born in Massachusetts.
Lexington, yes.
And oddly enough, I was born in Concord.
There you go. Next town over.
New Hampshire.
Yes, of course.
But so Lexington, and what's life like as a young basketball player and growing up in Lexington?
It's quiet. It's very quiet. Colonial town. Obviously, that's where the shot heard around the world happened. It's where defense began in America. It's where we first stood up to the British. It's where the Revolutionary War started. Our high school mascot are the Minutemen, because the militiamen of Lexington were known to be ready in a moment's notice. That's why we are called the Minutemen.
So did you have a growth spurt, or were you always tall? Because I know some people got tall like one summer, and then other people were like, oh, he was a 12-pound baby. And then
I was always bigger. I'm not even the tallest person in my family. My brother is taller than me.
Holy crap. How tall is he?
He's 6'10". I'm 6'8".
Does he play basketball? He
did.
Because that's the question anybody asks.
He
Anybody
went,
over
he went
the
to
size
Syracuse,
6.
and then
in
he
Orangeburg.
went on to mechanical engineering. So now he lives in Berlin, and he does front end web design, which sounds as exciting as about it sounds.
Okay, all right. So I'm assuming that as soon as you got tall enough, people were trying to push you towards sports.
Yeah, I mean,
Not that you don't like them. It's just
no,
that,
my parents weren't putting a lot of pressure on me. It was more whatever you wanted to do. I wasn't super into sports as a child. I wanted to become a wrestler. I liked jumping on my trampoline. I liked playing Legend of Zelda. Yeah, basketball just kind of happened because I didn't want to pay for college. So I was like,
I wasn't sure.
all the parents in here know.
I wasn't sure if the high school coach kept on going, you got to play. You got to play.
No, not like that.
No, not a lot of pressure.
We had a
Great.
really good team. I wasn't even a great player on my high school team. So
Neither was Michael Jordan.
there you go. That's
See?
right.
So you could be a hidden Jordan. We just don't know it yet.
Could be, yeah. I have since retired from basketball, but I think
I'm sure if the Lakers threw a contract at you, J.J. Riddick calls tomorrow, are you going to say no?
I don't know. That'd be tough. I mean, if JJ Redick called you tomorrow, are you going to say no?
I'm not going to say no to anything. I mean, I'm here. They asked me if I'd come to Columbus, Ohio. I said, I'm ready to go.
Oh, yeah, of
Am I going
course.
to talk to Dane? I'm here.
This is great.
I'm an easy date.
That is
You
true.
have choices.
Millions of dollars to play for the Lakers.
Yeah.
You're saying yes.
I'm talking hundreds of thousands. I'll take the league minimum.
Okay. That's still millions. I
Is
believe.
it? It's the league minimum still? I
think
thought it was
the league minimum's
like
a million.
150,000 or 200.
No. It was. I think it was like 800,000 like 10 years ago. It's gone up since.
I'm old. I still remember when Spud Webb was playing.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, he was my hero because he was my height. And
Sure.
and he could play. So you start playing. You said you were okay at high school, or
Yes.
what position?
I was a forward, number 4.
Since you didn't grow up watching basketball, did you have any basketball heroes, or did you just kind of like I just play?
I
and then-
idolized Bill Goldberg, the wrestler. Yeah, and Pierce Brosnan.
Oh well, you can't go wrong with Pierce Brosnan.
Can't go wrong because I wanted to be a spy, and then I realized he wasn't a spy; he was an actor, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I can be a spy without actually being a spy. I'd rather pretend to be a spy than actually be one."
Yeah, the odds of dying are a lot lower.
Yes, yeah. Dying, I guess, is the worst option, but like being captured by another country.
Oh, that's
for
true.
Espionage, you know.
Yeah, and so then you played, and you said you were mediocre, but you were good enough to get a scholarship to UNH.
Sure.
Because no one goes to UNH on purpose. I
Right.
did. I went to UNH Manchester.
Oh yeah.
But also, how did you adjust to going to Durham, which is a very small town?
I
coast.
mean, Lexington is not much of a bigger town than Durham is.
So there wasn't
Yeah.
much of an adjustment.
No, not much of an adjustment. It was a lot of fun. I spent 4 years in Durham, New Hampshire. Got to play basketball. Got to go to class. The dining hall was amazing. They knew me there. I essentially had the key to the city because I was their number one customer, eating anything and everything I wanted. It was fantastic.
I would have a metabolism.
Yes. And then, graduation time comes, and I had a degree in tourism, believe it or not. I wanted to open up a surfboard rental shop in Waikiki, Hawaii. And
Not Odeon Beach in New Hampshire?
No,
The big
and-
mecca of surfing?
And I realized someone thought of that before me. So I said, huh. And they said, you're good enough to play professional basketball. And I said, oh, that's interesting. So I went and I played professional basketball for 8 years. I was in Italy for 7 years. I was in Israel for a year. And I was with the Boston Celtics for a summer, which is like, it's funny. It was like the shortest flash of my career was the highest pinnacle. And that's all anyone wants to talk about is, how was your time with the Celtics? I was there for 2 months. I don't know. It was great. I had a locker. They gave me a lot of gear. I never played in a game. The players were great. Chris Humphrey's locker was next to me, and it was right around the time he was involved with Kim Kardashian. There was a lot of buzz around that.
A lot of glitter.
Yes. And it was a great time. And then I didn't sign with them for the season, so I went to Israel. But my time playing basketball was fun. It was really wild European crowds who would set off fireworks during the games and throw coins and lighters at you while you're warming up and spit on you if you got too close to the stands.
And those are the home team.
Yeah. It was great. It was a great time. I was in Italy, obviously, 7 years. The food was fantastic.
Oh, hey.
Well, we've made it. We've made it. I was thinking, like, I
thought it was low, but also you project.
Yeah. So,
but it was well enough. I didn't think it was. But see, now I'm too loud.
Yeah, it's like, wow. Okay, all right. So, yeah. I do miss Italy a lot, but you wake up every morning, you're sore, you're tired, and I'm sure anyone here who knows the day in, day out life of having a job, there are some days you just don't want to do it, and there are some days you're tired. Yeah, so imagine being tired and sore and hurt and having to run. Your job is like running and jumping, and your body's saying like, I can't run and jump today, and you're like, well, this is your job. You have to do it. So I did that for 8 years, and my knee still hurts, and it's nicer now because I get to just pretend to be a basketball player than actually be one, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, because interesting, while you were there, I read that you were an apprentice.
Oh, yes.
For a Tuscan butcher.
Yes.
Dario Cecchini?
Cecchini, that's right. Yeah, I was playing in Siena at the time. I know this is very exciting stuff for you guys. You came to this gaming fair.
I'm trying to set the table so they can see the diversity of you.
Yes.
You're not just a guy in a rubber mask.
We're talking about deboning cows, Tuscan style. And yes, I met Dario Cecchini is an 8th generation butcher. His butcher shop is 250 years old in Chianti, Italy. If you type in like Italy on Pinterest, the pictures of Chianti, that's what you see with the cypress lined tree, the hillside, and like the rolling green hills of Chianti. It's really an amazing place. And I met this guy, and he loved my hands. He said, "You have the hands of a butcher. You have big butcher hands." I said, "Okay." And he said, "Come live with me. I'll teach you how to debone cows during the off season." Sure. Okay, great.
That's an interesting,
like Daniel Day-Lewis. This is some learn a craft, an ancient Italian craft. And I did. And I lived in this guy's house for the off season for like 6 years. And they became my family, and I was very involved in the food world. And for the longest time, towards the tail end of my career, I wanted to host culinary travel television. Finally putting that travel degree to use because I didn't get to open up my surfboard rental shop in Waikiki. So every summer in the off season, I would travel to Los Angeles to pitch my travel show that I wanted to have.
So what is it like being a butcher? Are you just like elbows deep in guts all day?
No guts. Sorry for any vegans here in the crowd. The sides of cow would show up every Thursday on a truck, and they were unalived and deskinned.
At least they weren't alive.
And there were nothing inside. It was literally just a
carcass.
Side of
like
cow.
Like if you ever saw Rocky. When Rocky does his in the meat locker.
And what a butcher does is separates the bone from the meat and cuts a certain way. There's an antique Tuscan style of butchery that I learned. I don't actually know the cuts in English. I know them in Italian. And if I was at a modern butcher shop today, I probably would get yelled at because the way they cut the steaks in Tuscany is different from the way they do it in America. And again, if they told me, hey, we need that top round, I don't know what a top round is. I could tell you what like a Fiorentina or like a Campanello is, but I don't know.
So does that mean that you know how to cook too, or is it just you just know how to cut it up?
I'm very good at cooking. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't lie to you. I'm really great at cooking.
I'm just you lived in the neighborhood down the road from me, so now I'm just trying to hit things up for later on.
Sure.
When I go back to California. So where did this all lead to movies? Because that's why I was setting this all up.
Yes.
You're a basketball player. You're going to be a world-class butcher. You're just being yourself, and then all of a sudden now you are in movies.
The hook here is the travel show, because I would travel to LA every summer to pitch my travel show. And one summer I was home in Boston training for the next season of basketball, and I got a phone call from Boston Casting who said, hey, you're the tallest guy we know. We need you as a stand-in for this Ryan Reynolds movie we're shooting here in Boston called Free Guy. And I said, yeah, sure. And I hung up the phone and I Googled, what the hell is a stand-in? And for those who don't know what a stand-in is, when you're shooting a movie with a really famous stars, in between the scenes when you're setting up the lights or changing the cameras, God forbid you have your celebrity superstar stand there while they set up the cameras. So you hire someone else, a stand-in, to stand there while they set up these cameras because Ryan Reynolds needs to sit down. He's tired. He's resting.
But don't they usually get people of the same build?
I wasn't Ryan Reynolds' stand-in. I was a stand-in for Dude, who's like Ryan Reynolds 2.0. He's the bad guy.
Oh, that's when he got the thick.
Yes, in
he
Free
got
Guy.
swole.
They didn't even use me all day. I got there, and they're shooting in this giant parking lot in Weymouth, Massachusetts, and I'm walking across this parking lot on my way to set because typically in Canada they call it circus. Base camp in America. The base camp is not near the set. The base camp is where all the trailers are and the makeup and all that, and you get ready and the costumes, and all the food, and then you walk to set, and you have to walk across this giant parking lot where the video village is, where all the producers are sitting watching the screens, because you don't watch the filming, you watch the screen, what it looks like. I get there, and they go, who are you? I said, I'm Dane. I'm the stand-in for Dude. They said, we were just watching you walk across this parking lot, and it's interesting. You look normal from a distance, and now that you're here, you are the size of a door. This is incredible. And I said, okay, thank you. Because normally people my height are stretched out, and you can tell that they're tall. I said, you have a very interesting look, and you should really look into acting, because for your size, your proportion, you have this could be a good thing for you.
You're not disproportionate.
Not disproportionate.
Like Doug Jones, if you've ever seen
Jones.
Shape of Water, or if you love...
Or Hellboy, or
Discovery,
Mystery Men.
Star Trek Discovery.
Or Star Trek Discovery.
He is he is stretched out. He's got very long, thin...
He's got a long neck. His neck looks like this.
Yeah, you can tell him from a distance that he is also very tall.
Yes.
Where I guess you are proportional, and you look like a dude who's been just enlarged.
Yes. Right. If you were... Yes, correct. And I thought, that's interesting. And then, so the stunt coordinator overheard this conversation and said, you want to know your way in? I said, sure. And he said, you got to play monsters. What? You got to be a creature actor. A creature what? He's like, there's 5 guys in Hollywood that play all the monsters in film and television. And it's terrible, horrible work, but you get to be in big movies and you meet directors and producers, and then you become friends with James Gunn, and then he puts you in his movie. And it's like, wow, interesting. And I was going to LA the next week anyway to pitch my culinary travel TV show. I got in touch with some producers and monster makers and stuff, and I ended up booking a Netflix show that shot in Korea called Sweet Home. And I landed the role of this muscle monster character called Protein. He was like a mutated bodybuilder. I went and they built this giant 80-pound foam latex costume over me. And I went to Korea to shoot this show for what was supposed to be like 2 weeks. And they loved me so much. This is funny. My brother's calling me from Berlin. Let me call you back. I'm in the middle of a thing here. Okay. Wave hi. Wave hi, Leo. Hee-hoo. Hoo-hee-hoo. Okay. All right. I got to go. Okay. Bye-bye.
He has the same response my nieces have when I talk to them.
That's right. They're all the way in Berlin, who I'm going to see in 2 weeks.
What time is it in Berlin?
It's
Gotta be
middle
late.
of the day.
Oh, is it? It's middle of the day here. That can't be.
No, it's like 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I was going to say, no, it's middle of the day right now.
So I go to Korea to shoot this show. I do a great job. Amazing. I get an apartment in LA for 2 months because I'm going to just try this acting thing out. And I do a great job. And I come back, and what happens? The pandemic sweeps across America. And I go, okay, this is interesting. So now I'm stuck in Los Angeles. There's no basketball. My dad was like, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to continue to try to play? Are you going to keep doing this acting thing? And I said, I'm going to keep doing this acting thing. So I stuck around in LA in my apartment that I rented for what I thought was going to be 2 months. 5 years later, I'm still living in that same apartment. And things started happening. I got Walking Dead, American Horror Stories, and then things kept just building and growing, and word around town about this 6'8" athletic guy playing monsters, and now everyone calls me to play their monster, which is great, which is cool. American Horror Stories was great. That was like a 5-hour makeup. I played this fertility demon thing. And
that could go 2 different ways.
Yeah, no, I know. And Ryan Murphy's fans are rabid. They are rabid, and they are very passionate.
How did you get Prey? Because that's the key one that really kind of...
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, that's definitely why you're here. That's why I was excited to talk to you. But then I found out you went to UNH, and I'm like, oh, well, then I really want to talk to him
because I'm not here for Monsters of California. That's for sure. It's no one's laughing because you've never heard of that movie. Prey I got from Instagram. There was a man by the name of Alec Gillis who built a lot of the xenomorph costumes for the movie Alien. He worked on the movie Pumpkinhead. He worked on a lot of things. He worked at the famous Stan Winston studio starting in the 80s. And he sent me an Instagram message to be the design reference guy for a pitch of a film they were working on in Canada. I said, interesting. He said, I'll give you $200 to come in. We put this costume on you. Bring a balletic svelteness. Exactly.
How do you bring that?
Yes.
You either have that or you don't.
You Google both of those words, and then you figure out what is the amalgamation of both of those words.
So there's the UNH education kicking in. I have to look up what balletic svelteness is.
I put my tourism degree to use and Googled balletic svelteness. So I created this kind of like panther feline style movement or whatever, and I walk into the shop, and there is the Predator costume from the movie before lying on the table. I said, this is Predator. He said, yes. I said, keep your $200. Put me in for this role. I want to play the actual Predator when the time comes. And easy. I had no credits to really my name because I had filmed things, but nothing had come out. And he said, I don't know, we're shooting in Canada. There are tax rebates. Bringing in a guy from Los Angeles it's a bad spend. It's a real bad spend. Okay, great. So I put on this costume. They 3D printed the head of what they thought it was going to look like. And Dan, our director, Marty, our producer, and Jeff, our director of photography, cinematographer, came in and watched this movement test that I did for this design. And they go, how tall are you? I said, 6'8". They said, 6'8". That's exactly what we're looking for. I said, Alec, put me in for this movie. I don't know.
I don't know. Canadians are short.
Yeah. So they made me the stunt double for this Predator character, and I trained really hard, and I went to mime school, and I studied parkour, and I studied martial arts, and it was a 2-month thing, and I lost 25 pounds, and I strengthened my neck because the design of this Predator put my head in the neck of this character and sat a 15-pound animatronic head on top of my head. There are 29 servos inside. 29 servos, which are little electric motors that power the animatronics for this character. There are 4 puppeteers that puppeteer just the face of this character. 4 people, one doing the eyes, one doing the mouth closing, everything.
He's got that little crab thing.
Crab thing, yes. And that is right. So I trained my neck extremely hard for that because I don't know if any of you have put 15 pounds on your head before and left it.
I think she has.
Yes.
You put 15 pounds on your neck.
And one detail I forgot to mention was that my face being in the neck of this character, in order for the Predator to look forward, I had to do this weird haunch shrug thing and look straight at the ground with my eyes through 2 holes in the neck just to make the Predator look forward. So essentially I shot every scene blind. Now, I was the stunt double for this character, and the other guy they hired, I'm going to cut a lot of stuff out here, but the other guy they hired didn't do any of that training. Cutting out more stuff, I essentially replaced him after the first day of shooting. I thought I was going to be in 2 or 3 scenes. I ended up becoming the full Predator. I did all the acting, stunts, and motion capture for the next 100 days of shooting. And we were up in Calgary, where Calgary sounds cold. Not during the summer. It's very hot. Middle of July into August into September. And you're wearing a 70-pound foam latex costume. I don't know if any of you know anything about foam latex, but another word for foam latex is a sponge. And what happens when you sweat into a sponge is that the sponge absorbs all of your sweat. The sweat doesn't go anywhere. So as the day rolls on, your suit's just getting heavier and wetter and smellier.
I thought the butchering part was going to be the grossest part of this.
No. And
stewing in your own juices in Calgary.
Yes. And we had 6 suits and we had 4 heads. Each suit was kind of used differently. We had one. Who here has seen Prey? Okay.
Yeah.
We had a different suit for the mud pit. We had a different suit for doing the stunts when I was on wires, going from tree to tree. It was arduous. We went through 5 suits. We destroyed all of them. Those heads, the animatronic heads, cost about $75,000 to make just one, and we had 4 of them. I mean, I think in total those suits were like, I want to say, in like the $125,000 range for one full suit, including a head. It's hand sculpted out of clay, built exactly over my body, custom. The inside is fabricated, lined with like this really soft cloth.
Which also absorbs a lot of water.
Sure.
Everything's built to basically just suck the water out of you.
Right, exactly. I mean, suits at like a suit shop are expensive, and those are made in mass. This is like a custom movie sculpted. It's a sculpture that was built over my body, and there's only 6 of them existing in the world. It's crazy.
So my question is, if you're losing 25 pounds and it's sculpted to your body has changed by 25 pounds. How did it feel at the beginning versus the end?
Oh,
were you starting to get looser? Were you starting to get?
Well, the suit stretches out over time, but foam latex is very forgiving. So 20 pounds on me is not much. So like the suit finds a way to stay tight on you. It's not there wasn't too much of a difference there, but. Yeah, I mean, it was an incredible experience. This is like a $70 million movie.
It was a fantastic movie.
Just 2 years before, I was playing basketball in Italy and deboning cows, and I didn't, someone said you're going to, every morning you wake up. It's a strange thing because when you wake up, you're in the same mindset for, I was 32 at the time, I think. And, there's always that morning you wake up and there's the 3 seconds of like, okay, yeah, I just have to go about my day. And then you remember, I'm the predator. And you're like, wow, it's incredible. So you get dressed, you get in the elevator, and there's other people in the elevator with you, and you go, these people have no idea I'm the predator. And it's a cool thing. It is a really cool and then, the weekend you go to a bar and you're standing in the corner and everyone's dancing and having fun. You're standing there and you go, these people have no idea I'm the predator.
I could wipe all these people out. I'm the predator.
Yeah, it's a really cool, it's just a cool thing. And so every morning you wake up and it's a little like predator surprise party, remembering that you're the predator, because I didn't even plan on being the predator. And it was great. I got lucky because for this film, this was the first film since the first one that there was only one predator. And it also wasn't like an all-star, like star-studded ensemble cast. You had Amber Midthunder and Dakota Beavers, who are fantastic actors, but not necessarily A-listers. So
someday soon.
And I got pulled into all this, and we went to Comic-Con and premiered the movie in San Diego. And gosh, I don't know if anyone here has ever been to Comic-Con in San Diego. What an incredible experience! If you can go, try to star in a movie and go with the movie, because that's the best way to do it.
That's the way I go.
Yeah, I mean, it was that, normally. Once you do that, it's tough to go back as because before I was going to Comic-Cons on my own as a fan, and you got to wait in line, you got to get the badge, you got that, and you're paying to. But this is Disney just took care of it all.
So my question is Will Wheaton will go, and he will have to dress up so people don't get harassed. Did you dress up as the predator and just wander around?
No.
And then people just hey, that's the best suit I've ever seen. It almost looks like the real thing.
No, because no one knows who I am.
Yeah.
Fortunately for me, I can walk around the Ohio Origins Game Fair and still not get harassed because it's like I'm incognito. It's nice actually playing characters that have the face covered because no one knows who you are. And if you are unrecognizable, you are doing your job. Because typically they go, oh, there was a guy in there? Great. Or if you hear, I knew there was a guy in there. I could just tell there was not good. Not good. So actually, the more unrecognizable you are, the better. So it's funny, I'll meet a lot of people. They'll be wearing an original Predator shirt with the first Predator. Oh, you see Prey? Yeah. What'd you think of it? Oh, it was all right. What about the Predator? What'd you think of the Predator? It was, you think the guy who did it did a good job? I don't know. I'm a bigger fan of the first Predator. Huh, okay. I'm Dane. I was the Predator. Oh my God, yeah.
But you join a long list of very famous people who have been a predator.
Is it a long list?
not a long list, but Jean-Claude Van Damme was the original Predator. And then he did not make it because he was just too small and he had too much balletic svelte.
Yes. Oh, I think he thought that they were going to show his face, and I think he's obviously more martial arts based, and they had him in like the tigigrade stilts, which were really hard to run in like the muddy forest. But
you had to fight, so did you have to learn all the?
I had to learn everything
because my friend wanted me to know that the fog scene. That fight in the fog.
Oh, the burnt glade, yes.
It was amazing, and you did an amazing job.
That was my favorite scene to shoot. It was also the most painful. But yes, all of the fight scenes I had to do blind because I couldn't see the people in front of me. Yeah, had to learn every step, every ounce of choreography blind. We had to lay sticks on the ground so I could follow the sticks through my feet. And then we had our first assistant director, who is essentially the mouthpiece for in a film, the director doesn't yell action. It's the first AD that yells action. And he had a little microphone on his shirt, which went directly just to my ear. So he could tell me, turn, look, swing. And, I was a flesh puppet essentially, and because
you didn't have the training because you thought you were going to be doing something else, and then
well, no,
you had some training, but you didn't have all of the fight training because you were going to.
Well, no, yes and no. I trained for that like I was going to become the Predator, and it worked out that in fact I was. But yes, the fights when my job changed. And my responsibility changed. They involved me more in those conversations, which I weren't necessarily involved in early on. So I was playing a bit of catch up as the film moved along. But the burnt glade scene was a lot of fun. What you don't know, because it looked like a cold, dreary day, it was not. It was scorching hot, and there was no cloud cover, and it was probably about 96 degrees outside. They had these huge fog machines. I mean, these fans were like the size of this screen here, and they would blow this fog. They had to get ahead of the wind and blow these fog machines into this field that they built. All those trees were man-made. They put these trees in a field, and then I always thought it was funny that there was mulch in the ground. In 1715 that they would have mulch in the middle of it, whatever. But it was like they say, don't work with animals and children. Don't work with wind, because this fog, if the wind shifted, the fog would just be blowing this way, but we have to shoot here. So they'd have to move the fog trucks, and you're sitting there waiting, and we're always waiting on the fog. Hold for fog. And I'm like this, and to get into the Predator, I put my head in the position. I can see the dreads hanging down, and I'm sitting there, and I'm waiting for Rich, our first AD, to go, ready, and hold for fog. Hold for fog, please. Dane, put your head down. We got the fog coming in. Okay. Action. And then, you go do the thing. And, that scene took about 2 weeks. And you just got an experience of 7 seconds of that 2 weeks. And we did about, 8 scenes a day. You have 30 takes a scene for 2. It was a lot. I still have neck damage. It still hurts to look to the left today, 3 years later. But it was, what an experience,
What was your biggest takeaway as an actor? Because now you're doing costume work, but you want to be a upfront non-costumed actor.
A human actor,
yes.
A face actor.
Oh, you can still be an alien.
Sure.
But you want to be outside of the costume. What were your takeaways from your acting?
It's interesting because in entertainment industry, your most valuable assets are your face and your voice. And when those things are taken from you, the treatment is different. And it's very easy for production to look at you like a living prop, or, they don't realize that all the time that if you're doing a really good job, they tend to forget that there's someone under there. Having a first AD who's that air traffic controller of everything, who understands like, hey, we got to get that 15-pound head off him. He's had it on I was only supposed to have that thing on for like 20 minutes at a time. I think my record was like an hour 45. You're breathing through the neck. If you watch the movie, you won't notice my face because there's foam latex covering my face with mesh, and hold for fog, action. And so it's taxing. It's like, and also when you're in a costume like that, you have to do 150% of how you think it should be done, because when you are covered in foam latex and you move, the suit kind of eats your movement. So it doesn't look as dramatic when you're just doing normal human nuanced things. When you're a monster, instead of grabbing the water bottle, you have to grab a water bottle, which it feels wrong to grab it like that. But when you're in a monster suit, it looks normal when you're in a suit and grab it like that. So you have to be thinking about that. You have to consciously be thinking about this predator breathing. I have to be thinking about what my hands are doing. I have to remember to keep my head and my neck like this. So I'm juggling all these different movements and stuff that are telling this character's story. I learned all of this stuff in mime school. Now it's ruined it for me, because when I watch a movie, I'm like looking at the hands of characters, and like I see all the time people who play monsters, their hands freeze and they go through the whole movie, and I'm like, what? Your hands?
Like Ricky Bobby?
Yeah, your hand. Yeah.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
There's a lot to do, and it's just when you're a non-human character, it's interesting. It's like you don't have the luxury of words, and it's harder, but there's less appreciation. When you're playing a human character, you just really have to think about your facial body language and the way you say your lines and remembering your lines, which is different and difficult, but it's very different. It's a lot less physical. So it's a tricky thing. Yes, I love my monsters. I love my non-human characters, and I'm so appreciative for all of that. But there's just also a great thing about doing 10 minutes of makeup and wearing a T-shirt all day.
It's like being in a band. You don't want to be the drummer. You got to carry all the stuff. You want to be the singer.
Correct.
The singer just shows up, sings, and walks off.
Yes. And I didn't know if you were going to touch upon this, but my new show, I just finished filming. Did you know?
Mindy Kaling?
Yes.
Where you play a non-human human?
No,
you're playing a basketball player.
I play a human.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mindy Kaling's new show is called Running Point, which stars Kate Hudson. Kate Hudson, her family owns this professional basketball team in Los Angeles, and she ends up taking over the team. And it's, Kate Hudsoning through this male-dominated sport. And I'm one of the main basketball players on the team, who's actually Slovenian. So I have to throw on an Eastern European accent, which was a good experience for me. But, wow. Yeah. What a breeze just wearing a basketball jersey. My goodness. And like 10 minutes of makeup and you're out. And the free haircuts, you go in every day, they cut your hair. This is great. I don't have to pay for a haircut for 3 months.
Finally, something I can relate to.
Yes. And,
free haircuts.
You're eating, you get to lunch and you don't have to worry about fitting back into this thing. It was so funny when we did reshoots for Prey, which was, we wrapped in September. In February, we did reshoots for Prey in Los Angeles. I got into the suit. Man, this thing busted so fast when they zipped up the suit. They had to zip tie the suit back together because I had lost 25 pounds for this role, and I'd obviously gained that back. So fitting me into this foam latex thing, and they're zip tying it every single time. Basketball jersey was nice.
Well, I want to ask about Skeleton Crew. I know you can't.
Okay,
but that's
sure.
why I'm going to ask you.
You can ask about Skeleton Crew.
Because I want to break some news here. You got to be playing a Wookiee, right?
I can't wait for you guys to see Skeleton Crew. I can't wait to reveal more information. I'm not. I was instructed by
I know.
Disney. I cannot talk about Skeleton Crew.
They asked me to test you.
It was a great test. I was. It's funny. I was at the premiere for Imaginary, another movie that I was in that came out in March. Blumhouse movie. I'm kind of the big bad thing at the end of this movie. And at the premiere, a sci-fi horror media outlet was there and asked me about Skeleton Crew. And I made the mistake of telling them when I thought it was going to come out, based on no information. And I said, this is based on no information. If there weren't 25 articles that came out the next day, Skeleton Crew actor reveals release date of Skeleton Crew. Yeah, I think at 9:01 a.m. was when I got the phone call. Don't do that again.
That's why I'm just constantly going to say new Wookiee, and then that way, my name will be everywhere, and you'll get in trouble.
I can't wait for all of you to find out more information when the time comes. I can't reveal or lean in any direction of anything. Skeleton Crew is a really fun show.
Danaka.
It's, think of like a Goonies across the galaxy type adventure. There are really cool creatures. There are really fun characters in the show. Jude Law was incredible. They have some really cool directors who came in and did some episodes. Like, it's just a really fun adventure, and I think everyone's going to love it.
Right, so. Well, I tried to get him in trouble. Like, it's not going to work. So my last question for you, because we're getting ready to wrap it up.
Sure.
You said there's only like 5 guys in Hollywood that does all that. So are you in like a text chain with Doug Jones and like with Jonas Sumato, who plays Chewbacca? And,
Eunice.
You guys all know each other?
I think Eunice lives overseas. I've never talked to that guy before, but I am good friends with Doug Jones.
Well, he's good friends with everybody.
We get lunch
Really?
often. Yeah, we go to the NoHo Diner, and he's a legend there. Most of the creature actors know who each other are. Are all of them friends?
No, because there's that competition situation.
I love all of them, and it's great, but it's not everyone's everyone's a little bit different, so it's not full competition, but. We see each other at Monsterpalooza and the horror conventions, and they're all good guys. There's an understanding because we all go through the same thing with the fittings and the sweating, and in between takes when you're sitting there and you do the 1,000-yard stare and going into that place and embracing the pain and the suffering of being under 80 pounds of foam latex. That bonds us. So we're all brothers in that sense, I suppose.
So what's next for you? Because we got the Mindy Kaling project thing you're doing.
Running Point.
I say it like that, but that's the name of her old show.
Yeah, well, it is Mindy Kaling's newest project called Running Point. That I don't know when that will come out, and I'm not going to make that mistake again of guessing. Then Netflix will be after me. That's coming out in the future. What else is coming? There's a show I shot with HBO. I don't know when that's coming out, called Coyote. That's a really cool Mexican supernatural show. Coyote, starring Alejandro Spitzer. It might be, I think the whole thing's in Spanish. I had to learn lines phonetically. It was really crazy, actually. We shot that in Mexico. I
know you got a big werewolves thing coming up.
Oh, yes, Werewolves is coming. It was called Year 2. Stephen Miller's Werewolves is coming, which also stars another Predator, Ian White. Yes, I did some werewolf, same costume built by Alec Gillis. And yeah, that's on its way. I believe that's February or January.
You don't want to commit. Don't commit.
Frank Grillo. No, they announced it.
Okay.
Frank Grillo is a star of that. There's another project I worked on I can't talk about. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it.
What are you hoping for?
What, in the future?
Yeah, if I was Steven Spielberg and I walked in and
I'd love to be non-human-ish.
What do you want to, anything. What do you want to do?
Oh, non-human, I'd love to be Jason Voorhees. That's like, to be, involved in Friday the 13th would be incredible.
I know the director of Jason Goes to Hell, so maybe I can...
Okay.
I'll ask him.
And then, I guess, I don't know, I want to play roles where people can't point at me and say, you only got that because you're tall. So...
Rom-com.
Rom-com or a lawyer or a dentist or something.
I'm trying to think of like a rom-com with Charlize Theron because she's tall.
Sure.
And that way you wouldn't be like...
I just auditioned to be this mechanic on this F1 team. That's all I'm going to say about that. But, it's interesting. You want... for me, the acting element... My height is great, and I think is an advantage of how tall I am because there aren't as many people who are as tall as me, so there's less competition. But I look at a guy like Dave Bautista who's playing roles that aren't necessarily big people. You look at a film like Knock at the Cabin. He didn't have to be that big, but he played it. He played it great. So that inspires me, and I know those roles are coming someday. And I'm grateful for Mindy and Ike and David to bring me on to a show like Running Point to really give me a chance to show what I can do. So we'll see what happens when that comes out.
Well, I know you're at the very beginning of your career because Free Guy was only a couple years ago. And
yeah.
So you're still like a baby in the Hollywood world. So we wish you the greatest luck.
Thank you.
And we can't wait to see you again. And when you star in your own movie, We're just going to call you Dane. It's going to be like The Rock, but you're just going to be
exactly.
Dane.
Just Dane. The Dane. That's funny.
But there you go. We got the one question.
One question.
How tall are you?
6'8".
Oh, okay.
All right.
There you go.
It's a great question. Come. Yes.
He did play basketball. See?
I did play basketball.
Okay, what ventilation did they have in your suit, and how did you go to the bathroom?
Okay.
Biometrics.
Ventilation, I mean, there was no ventilation.
They didn't have little fans that could
No,
build in the
I did
suit?
not have fans. In the sarong you could lift up, the sarong was just a belt.
It had something you could lift to use.
That whole suit was held together by zip ties. So they would clip the zip tie, take off the sarong, and then there was just a zipper with a flap there. Number one was easier. Number two was a little more complicated. It's funny in Disney's The Quest. I don't know if you've ever seen that. If you haven't seen it, you won't be able to now because Disney took it off Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's that reality show.
Yes,
with the kids.
Yes, if you took The Amazing Race and like Lord of the Rings, which they literally got the creator of The Amazing Race and the producers from Lord of the Rings and brought them together to make the show, but it was live.
Right, it was a weird kind
and these kids were coming, and I had to pee so bad, and they were like, 10 minutes out, 8 minutes, 2 minutes, and I looked at the producers, hiding behind a tree next to me. I go, Audi, I have to pee so bad. This guy unzipped my costume for me, and I had to take my glove. We ripped the glove with 30 seconds left, and you were like trying to jam it back on.
There are
it
children
worked.
in the audience.
No, I know. I mean, it was. I'm just saying the tricky part was we ripped my glove, and like it was a struggle to get it back on because foam latex rips really easily. So yeah, that was like if you somehow can get that show. I don't know how you can now, but right before I walk out. Think about me. I had just ripped my foam latex glove, and this producer, German producer, Audi and I were trying so feverishly to get it back on and get my bracer over my wrist, and it did work out. And I thought my performance was good. And the show was a lot of fun, but they just took it off Disney Plus. Yes, come on, please.
Come on, Cree. What do you got?
I was just curious maybe who some of your biggest inspirations were, or who you identified with most growing up. If you could jump in a time machine, go back and cast yourself in any role, who would it be?
Well, we loves Pierce Brosnan.
Yes, I idolize Pierce Brosnan. I get a lot of Vince Vaughn. I love his linguistic syntax, the way he delivers things. If there was a role I could go back in time, this is crazy and probably a little controversial, but I think Fagin in Oliver Twist would be such a fun role to do.
Lording over those children.
Yeah, but just like, obviously the implications of that character are like questionable and controversial now. But God, singing and dancing like that, and just the whole get up, and there was something about that character I found so interesting. Yeah, but I like Jamie Foxx, and I like it really varies. It's funny, this came in, he asked his question, got out. That's it. 6'8", baby. They found out.
Yep.
Got his info.
He doesn't have Wikipedia.
Yeah, he just wanted to know how tall I was.
And if you'd play basketball. He did ask that.
If I play basketball.
He said you should have played basketball.
Yeah, he just came in, asked this question, and now he's going to play chess.
Yeah, he's going to come into the very end of another panel and ask a question that was answered at the first second.
I appreciate that. Hey, at least he showed up. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's that role that, who knows? You look at a guy like Chris Pratt, who was like living in Hawaii before, and he was like delivering pizza or something. And then I think it was Parks and Rec. He got and the guy's freaking Star-Lord, and what an incredible journey. So I don't know. I don't know. I know that there's a role out there that's going to be really big and special that I'm so glad that this happened. And there are so many roles out there that I know I'm not going to get, that looking back, I'm going to be so grateful I didn't get them. Like we said, I feel like I'm 22. Like I'm just starting. I feel like I'm just out of college. I'm just starting this whole acting thing. And I'm grateful for my basketball experience, bringing that athlete's mentality to acting. I don't see a lot of actors with a pro athlete mentality, which is interesting to me. Being part of a team, one common goal, showing up every day, doing your job, being like your superior, letting your superior know that you are genuinely bought into their system, your director or your producer. And that applies anywhere, whether you're in an office, on a field, on set, whatever. I mean, I always when I talk to basketball teams and younger kids, I always say the greatest asset you can bring to any setting is, letting your coach or boss genuinely believe that you are bought into what he believes in. And when your time comes and when you're called upon, you're going to do your job. And for me, that's what's most important. I always like to say head down, nose clean, mouth shut. That's how generally try to do the right thing usually, and things tend to work out, I find. Work hard and do the right thing. That's how success comes, I find. Now I'm getting preachy, but it's true. It really is true. Listen, I wasn't even a good player on my high school basketball team, and I went on to play professional basketball and then became a butcher in Italy and then a creature actor, and now I'm in a major Netflix show put together by Mindy Kaling. It's like, who I'm not even talented. I just,
Doll.
Yeah,
But you're more than that.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I don't know how much mocap work you've done, but which do you prefer? The heavy suit where you can barely move, or the mocap where you're imagining everything around?
Great question.
And you're in pajamas a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I did all the motion capture for the Predator. Anytime you see the Predator when he's invisible, I was wearing a gray mocap, like full pajama unitard. And mocap is great because you're not wearing a 90-pound costume, but it's different because you really have to use your imagination. It's easier to get into character when you're wearing something practical like a costume like that. Mocap is also very repetitive. They have you fall down 10 times in a row and you have to do your walk and kneeling. Every single action that your character could possibly do, they have you do it. Walking 10 feet, turning, standing, breathing, slashing, picking up that bear over my head, slamming the bear. It's just so repetitive, and it can be pretty tedious and arduous. While practical suits are more painful, I prefer 90% of the time you're in like a mocap studio with like the dots and everything. It's great. I have no problem. I just got a phone call the other day for a mocap job for a video game, and I have no problem with it. I would much rather be on location on a set wearing a practical thing, even though it's 90 pounds, even though it's 150 degrees inside the costume and I'm sweating and in the most pain. Doug Jones once told me, pain is temporary, film is forever. So I know it sucks right now. It's the worst, but this art piece, this thing we're doing will literally last through the test of time and will go on forever. So I know the pain that sucks right now. Just fight through it, give everything you have, and it will, look good on the screen. And then you have that forever, and no one can ever take that from you. I would have to go practical costume for me. Also, like the amount of people that had their hands on it, the work that went into this thing. You're wearing a piece of art is so special. All the painters, all the sculptors, all the fabricators, mold people. I mean, mold making is a career in Hollywood, like casting, taking the clay from a sculpture and putting foam latex into it and the fiberglass. And there's so many things that I don't understand. It could never do in a million years. That's what makes these suits, these costumes so expensive, because there's so many steps that go into creating these things. Science, mechanics, art. It's an amalgamation. And I'm just the puppet. I'm just this ball of flesh and muscle that moves this thing, And I can't even move everything. They're puppeteers in the face of some of these things. But it's a special thing getting to wear, especially something as iconic as the Predator. Even today, I'll be like, I can't believe I was the Predator. And I have that forever. Like, what a cool thing forever at a bar. I will always have a cool, I was the Predator. And I was like, oh, wow. Any more questions? Is that yes, the goal is to be, here's a secret. The goal is to become a really famous actor. Then they just give you a travel show. That's I'm just duping everyone. This whole plan is for my travel show.
Yeah.
Star in big productions, and they hand out travel shows. They throw them out to you like frisbees. It's great. That's the goal. Yes, sir. My favorite actor I've ever worked with. Oh, that's a great question.
Apparently, he doesn't have. You haven't worked.
I mean, Chris Pratt was pretty cool on the show. Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, but I was only there for a day. On the show I just wrapped, there was a guy named Jay Ellis who was in the show Insecure for a number of years. He was really cool. He played the basketball coach of the team that I was on, and he's actually my good friend now. He was a lot of fun. There's also another guy they brought in the show named Diedrich Bader, who was in Napoleon Dynamite, who was in Office Space, which you're probably not old enough to see that movie yet.
The Drew Carey Show. We're in Ohio.
Oh, yeah. And Diedrich Bader was the funniest actor I've ever worked with. Yes, come on in. We're just starting. And gosh, the character he got into, we couldn't even keep a scene together because we were laughing so hard. I think like we got 1 take out of 10 because we just broke every single time. He was so funny.
Did you get to hang out with the dog?
Yes, Coco the dog. Yes, I did. It was actually 3 dogs. They had 3 dogs. But Coco, we knew Coco was going to be the biggest star of that film, and she was. She was a ball of muscle. She was wild. One last quick story. The scene where my mask gets knocked off for the first time at the Trapper Village, and I put my mask back on, and I see the dog coming, and I pull out the gun. That was one of the hardest scenes to shoot because they had this tiny little stone that they put in the ground, and they had to have Coco run and stop and put her feet directly on top of this stone so I could point the gun at her. It was hard, because getting a dog to land on a stone like that is so difficult. So, like, it took us 20 takes. And then when it did happen, I can't see where I'm pointing the gun because my head is down. So they're like, tilt your wrist. And I'm like, oh, and they're like, tilt your wrist more. All right, point down like this. And because I can hear them talking in my ear. Even when she landed, I missed a couple takes where I was pointing the gun because I couldn't see where I was pointing. So that was difficult and arduous. But yeah, Coco was crazy and we loved her and she was such a ball of energy. And yeah, I miss Coco so much. That dog was like adopted. They like found her on a reservation.
Yeah, they trained her from scratch. That was not a
crazy. Yeah, Coco's big superstar.
Well, Dane is here all day. You can go to his booth, get an autograph, get a picture with him. I'm really happy that you're here. Great to see you.
Awesome.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Give it up for Dane.
Thank you for coming.
DiLiegro. Thanks for listening to Conversations with Craig. If you had a great time, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. It really helps the show grow. Share this episode with friends you'd think would love it too. For updates, behind-the-scenes fun, and more, follow Matinee Heroes on social media. Take care, and I'll see you next time.